So I was like really excited. I couldn't even wait to tell you, but it's just been busy. The week out of the hospital, I had appointments. I had to drive my son to school. I had to take them to appointments. I had to, in the past 3 weeks, it's been driving them to, the first week was driving them to school and I think a couple of appointments. The following week was a couple of appointments. Had to clean up the house because the fire inspectors were coming. The tub guy came on Friday. And so it has just been, like, I really have not had a chance to rest. And this past weekend, I found out about something. Me and Lulu, what's that word? We empower each other with our addictions. But she says, hey, at least it's not drugs, right? You know, she told me about something, and instead of relaxing Saturday, I just had to go out and look for this. So 2 things that I wanted to tell you about. So let me do talk about the first one. And I have a blog, I believe it's Cookiedulce5, a blog. And I really don't use it that often because I just don't have the time. But I do like to post, like, I posted about my, I post mostly about Wet n Wild on there when I get something new. But I just had to post about this, so I kind of wrote the instructions there. I'm going to verbally tell you about it now. I'm just really, really excited. So, it's silly because it's not really that usable. But it is adorable. I love rainbows, and there has been this big thing about these new rainbow highlighters, and they were being sold, I think, on Etsy. They're like $22, and they're about this, I think, I'm not sure if they're the size of an eyeshadow or size of a blush. It's probably the size of a blush. And the girl who's selling them became overwhelmed with orders because you have to do this yourself. And right now, if you want to get it from Etsy, from this particular girl, and I can't remember the name, but I'll just post the link. But they're out to, I think, 10 months out now to pre-order, because as soon as she puts them up, I'm not sure how many she can do at a time, they sell out like that. They're these beautiful, gorgeous rainbow highlighters, and it's $5, I think, shipping, so you're paying a total of, I think, $27. But, you know, people were saying, please do pre-orders, please do pre-orders. So basically, if you pre-order from her, it's a wait of between, I think it's between 7 to 10 months to get it, because it's just so popular. So a lot of girls have been trying to do this themselves, and it's really isn't hard to make. However, I noticed that hers has a tremendous amount of shimmer that I thought I could copy. That's the only thing that all these DIYs don't really, that I've seen. Only one had the shimmer, and she said what she used, and I had all the products. I mean, I've been collecting makeup for like over a decade, so I have all the products. So I said, you know what? When the tub guy was here last Friday, I said, I'm gonna do it. So basically, I had some small cups, you know, disposable cups, and I cut them. I cut them really small. And you can use, you know, whatever, shot glasses. You can use, some people use little cupcake paper holder, with, you know, little cupcake holder, the paper ones. Whatever you have. You need alcohol. 91% is the best, because it dissipates the fastest. The more higher the content, the faster it will dry. And then you will need rainbow colored eyeshadows. Crazy me, I decided to use pink instead of red because I felt pink was more wearable. And I guess when you put it on the cheek, it is more wearable than the red. But in truth, this isn't wearable at all, you know. This is like for clubbing, maybe parties, costumes, you know, Halloween, cosplay. So I decided to use the pink, and since I still have my Lime Crime, what I'm trying to finish up is my 120. I use my Wet n Wild, some of my Mary Kay, and I really haven't really used my Lime Crime shimmer loose shadows from way back when. So since I had, you know, like whatever, almost every color except lime, I think, which I thought I had, but I didn't. I chose to use that because they're highly shimmery. And then I had like this shimmer powder, which I thought might add some glitteriness to it, but in the end it didn't. It kind of just lightened the colors, which is good anyway. I wanted this to be pastel rather. I chose pastel colors rather than, you know, true red, true blue, you know, primary colors. So I made my own. You will need a highlighter, a highlighter that's white or a very, very light highlighter. Because if you use one that's dark or color, like a pink highlighter, it's not going to come out true to color. Or browns, it's not going to come out true to color. And so this is even a little flabby because it's old. This is my Pure Confection highlighter from Revlon that I've been using for many years. I switch between this and I have a Mary Kay white one that I'm trying to finish up. And so I've been using this for years. So I figured perfect because I didn't want an overflow, which I got anyway. But you take it, and I would suggest loose powders. I was talking it over with my friend Lulu. I had the eyeshadows and I just couldn't bear to crush them. And my friend Lulu says, just use loose. And I'm so glad I did that, because if you know, if you're gonna use a whole solid eyeshadow, crushing it is a pain in the butt. So I had like a metal spatula, which I don't have in front of me right now, but I took pictures. I didn't take pictures of the process, I just took pictures of what I used. So I took a metal spatula and I started crushing this highlighter. This highlighter was a very light beige with little pink and green ribbons throughout. So when I crushed it, I think it was a little bit darker than it should have been. But when I added the shimmer powder, I had like a white shimmer powder, it just brought everything, you know, back to a lighter color. So I used my old Lime Crime loose shadows, I forgot what she called them, and I just started scooping it because I have a spatula, metal spatula, that I use particularly for my cosmetics type of thing. I am not sure, but I think they're crab spatula, and I keep them for my makeup. So, you know, they do sell them for cosmetics, or you can just get a crab spatula. It's like a fork on one side and like a little spatula on the other, so you can scoop out all the meat. That's what I use, and I scooped it out, or whatever you want to use, but it should be metal because you gotta crush that highlighter up. Crushing that highlighter up was a pain in the neck. I could not really get it to a fine powder. My hands were getting tired. So I guess a metal teaspoon would do as well. And I just started scooping out bits of it because I didn't want to put a lot. I really liked my spatula. Let me see if I can find it. I really liked, this is a crab spatula, and I really like it because it has this little, like, this is like almost has a little scoop in it. That's how you scoop out the meat, or this little fork to pull out the meat. And so I have a couple of these, and I really like it because I was just scooping out, you know, a little bit at a time. And I had the hardest time doing the exact ratios of the highlighter, but it's best if you can do exact ratios. So you split them up, and split up the highlighter into these cups. Try to get it as evenly as possible. Scoop out some shimmer powder and try to do it as evenly as possible. So you'll have 7 cups altogether because you need 1 cup to crush the highlighter. And then put your shimmer, your shimmer shadows in it, or your eyeshadow. Some women didn't even use shimmer shadows. And so I think the shimmery stuff, more shimmery it is, the more nicer it'll look as a highlighter. So then once you do that, then you scoop out the color that you want. And The gold and the orange I had a hard time with because I guess they were the lightest colors, and I had to put a lot of the shimmer shadow to get it to the color I wanted. So you have to mix. Now you have to put in, people use a dropper. I didn't. I just kind of eyeballed it because probably a dropper is safer though to use. You know, since it has such a little hole in it, I just kept putting drops in it. And the only one I messed up was the orange. If it's too liquidy, it is not going to work. It's just going to make a big old mess. So you want to make it kind of pasty. You know, you still want it to be kind of thick so you can manipulate it. And so I started with my purple, and then, you know, like a rainbow. I went backwards. It doesn't matter, you know. But, you know, I started with my purple, and then I added the blue and the green and then the yellow, and then I put the orange. The orange I had a hard time because I put too much alcohol. It kind of got away from me. So I kind of like let it set for a little while and put it in. And it still went in, but it kind of like drips. So the orange is kind of underneath the pinks because it kind of dripped. And then the last one was the pink. The thing that bothers me is that I want it to be perfectly even. That's what bothers me about the lady who sells it, the do-it-yourself ones. Now people on eBay are doing it. And I got more pink than I wanted. I would have preferred more purple, but it's okay. I mean, you know. So once you fit them in here as nicely as you would like, then you have to take a paper towel and press it. And you could use something with a design and you'll get a nice design. I just use a regular paper towel, and I already used it, so it kind of like flattened out. I was just testing it. So now I'm all excited, right? I did my own. It didn't cost me a dime. I was so proud of myself because I have so much makeup. I just used what I had. So the next day, I'm saying, oh, I can't wait to try this. This Halloween, I'm gonna do a fair. I have to say this every time. I don't celebrate Halloween, but I think it's fun to dress up. I just don't go door to door parties or anything. Anyway, I'm gonna show you. See if this will work here. Let me see. I don't know if you can see that on my fingers. So, you know, let me swatch it. Oh, my hand is dirty. And then I'm gonna do it on my arm because my hand, I was playing with makeup on my hand. So I don't know how well you can see that. I mean, it is beautiful. If I even would have considered buying one, I was not going to really use it as a highlighter for the cheek. I was going to probably use it for the eyeshadow. But again, when I heard that people were doing it themselves because it was like a 10-month wait, I was like, I could do that. So I'm all excited, and I tested it on my hand. I tested it on my finger. I'm all excited. I go to get... you need a nice dense brush. You don't want to do it with a regular face powder or a regular blush brush are usually very fluffy and round. You're not going to get all 6 colors on there. You're not going to get a good pickup of color. So you need like a dense brush. So I remember getting this fan brush because it was all the rage about 6 years ago, and I don't like it. It's too big. It's supposed to be for highlighting. It's too big. So I said, you know, I'm going to put a rubber band around. This is a fan brush, by the way. I put a rubber band around it. I said, okay, I'm going to do it with this. What's the problem? It is not flat. It is round. And I noticed that the girls who made their own or bought it use it with like this rectangular type of brush, thin, and it seemed kind of dense. And I was so mad because it wasn't working. It wasn't gonna go on at all. It wasn't gonna go on at all. I was like, dang it. And so I go and I look online, and these brushes go up to $60, $40. I think Max sells it for. I'm like, I'm not spending that kind of money. So I'm looking on eBay, and there you can get it for $2 from China. A lot of Hong Kong sellers sell it, but it's gonna take at least a month for you to get it. And I'm all excited. I wanted to try it out now. So I was talking to my friend Lulu about it, and she's like, why don't you try e.l.f.? They just made one, and I think they're available at Target. God, call my Target. That was, I was very late at night when I was trying it out, and I realized, because you're supposed to let it dry overnight. So I did it that Friday night. I said I should call Target, but it was kind of late. So I waited till 9 o'clock in the morning the next day, and they had it. So now I wanted to rest. I said I could not relax. I could not relax because I had to have this brush now. So I called my local Target, and they said they had a few. They held one for me, and when I got there was nothing on the shelf of it. There was one that was left out of the bag that it came in, just thrown on the side. So I just couldn't relax. I said, I'll pick it up after church. No, I wasn't going to relax at all on Saturday unless I got my hands on this brush. So it's from e.l.f. and it's $6. See, it's got to have that rectangular kind of overly dense flat brush. And as you can see, it works. It works. The only thing that I was a little upset about is that this brush is a little bit smaller than this. I was going to make a big one, you know, but I have another highlighter, but it's pink and it's huge. And I'm so glad I went with this. The only thing I'm upset about is this is flimsy. This is about to break. But anyway, see, I don't know if you can see, it is smaller. So now I see that it is better to use a smaller blush size one. And as you can see, I got all the colors on it, but since it is smaller, I do have a hard time. So I try to just make sure that I'm touching the pink and the purple, and then I just swipe it. It picks up all the color, and I just cleaned my hands, and that's the way it's supposed to look. The only thing, like I said, I used the shimmer powder, and I was hoping it would add glitter because the lady who makes them on Etsy is full of glitter. But it made it very shimmery, but it didn't add that extra sparkle of glitter. And that's the thing I'm noticing at all the do-it-yourself ones. Maybe, and I do have white glitter. I could have done that, but I thought that this white shimmer powder would be enough. So I tried it out on my cheek. So I had already planned to do like a fairy look this Halloween type of thing. And, you know, so that's what I'm going to use it for, just for fun, going to a party or whatever. So that's how it looks. Isn't that pretty? Is that not pretty? And I thought I could use it as a highlighter, but this is so intense, it's too much as a highlighter. It's better as an eyeshadow. So anyway, I probably will put a link to my blog. I do have a blog that I will link on the bottom, and I did put the instructions, and I'm going to show you the pictures. It's on my blog as well. So yeah, so it's do it yourself, and I think the whole process took me an hour, and it's because you got to really mash up. This is why it's better if you have loose shadows. You really got to mash up that highlighter to a fine powder, and I did as best as I could, but I know it was not a fine powder. I know it wasn't a fine powder, but it was good enough. And just the measuring, because you want to do it exactly right. And I think that, and the mixing wasn't too hard. I mean, I did have to mix it a little bit, make sure that it was really, really mixed in together. So I think it took me about an hour altogether, and then you gotta let it dry overnight. Keep, you know, like I said, 91% alcohol. It was dry by that night. So the higher content of alcohol, you know, the faster it'll dry. And then I left it open and let it set overnight, and it was, you know, it was really cool. And so there's a lot of DIYs on YouTube. I didn't film it because dealing with a tripod is a pain in the butt. It's behind here and stuck between my kitchen and my vanity table, and it gets stuck, and taking it in and out is a pain in the butt. Sometimes it unplugs all my plugs, and getting it back in is a pain in the butt. So that's why I didn't film it, but I did take pictures, not step-by-step pictures, but pictures of what I used. And you know, the end result and swatched and whatnot. So I believe this is called a flat top contour brush, but they do have flat top round, so you want to make sure that you're getting this like oval, rectangular, skinny, flat one. So that's how I found it. It's a flat top contour brush. I think that's how I found it. So you can get these at Target, and they're made by Elf. And so far, that's the cheapest, unless you want to order from eBay. It's like $2, but you gotta wait for it to arrive from Hong Kong. So it's up to you. So I did not want to wait. I wanted to try this right away, and I'm so glad that they had one in stock. So yeah.